Good morning, good morning, good morning.
We are live.
Welcome back, my son.
It's good to be back. Sorry I missed the Monday and the start to the week with everybody, but it's been a fantastic week. Kai got in safely, and although we had to go through a few hurdles while we were at the airport, all is well, and we were back in business.
I love it. You were missed, but yesterday was an amazing show. It
was. I would listen. You know, we were moving through the airport, and as soon as I popped it on in the car, Kai was like, "Hi, Poppy," and I was like, "No, it's the Huddle. He's not on FaceTime."
So that's so cute. This theme of what Top Gun 36 years later has done. Every day there's articles. So I'm deep in the studying. I'm loving it. We had.
It would appear that everybody is talking about it. Everybody's pulling, which to me is a testament to how well it was written and what a great job they did, because everybody's using it as content to teach from and talk about.
So what's most fascinating to me is that there are people who are in the game that do this. Top Gun, Dave Burke was a Top Gun guy, super cool. He talked about his aviators and his jacket, and they're kids, man. They're just, they're playing with big toys. But it continues. And I had signed up, I guess, to a website way back when that we're going to talk about today, Waldo Waldman. Yes, Jake, they are getting sued now by the guy who wrote the original article on Top Gun. But that's a bullshit thing. Anytime you put something out in the world, it's everybody's content. But I do it's all about standard operating procedures. And you, my son, take it to the limit. You are the Top Gun of being a dad. Show me. Bang!
It was so for the first night at home, we were really unsure about the way it would go. But at 7:54 last night, we had both kids down in bed, sleeping, fed. And we were super proud of that, to have the next 2 hours to ourselves before we laid our head on the pillow. So shout out to us for starting off on the right foot.
Fantastic. So, but speaking of further processes and things that are broken, everybody talks about how broken the healthcare system is. Well, I have a wonderful story. I want to use this platform to share good stuff. I have been experiencing knee pain for 2 months. And I'm not a complainer, never have been. So I have a high tolerance for pain. And I just kind of was grinning and bear it. Tried everything remedy, chiropractor, deep tissue massage regularly, Epsom baths, pills, lotions, potions. Nothing seemed to work. And Jake, in his wisdom, said to me, he goes, "What the hell's the matter with you? Go to the doctor and get it taken care of." So we looked up, boom, the next thing you know, we go, I go and I pick a place randomly called Fort Lauderdale Ortho Walk-In. So I say to Shay, no appointments, walk in. Okay. I walk in, boom, paperwork, sit down, greeted, taken to a room. Next thing, x-ray guy, bang, takes 4 x-rays. Next thing you know, nurse comes in, preps me, and says the doctor will be in. Dr. Jeffrey Allen, who was great. Just a super good young dude, Michigan State guy. We got into talking college football. He said, "Hey, dude, you start talking college football, I'll be here up for 3 hours." Yeah. So moral of the story, him and Alyssa Grace Lopez, who I promised I would shout out, were just amazing. Shay, show me the pictures. So boom, boom, boom. X-rays, knees, both knees not in great shape, one experiencing pain. He says, "I can fix it." He pulls out a needle the size of ruler. And then the next thing you know, I stand up and he goes, "How does it feel?" And I go, "That is amazing."
Dallas 40 is kind of what it looks like.
I was like, you know what? this could be good, man. Like, you know,
How often can I come in, Doc?
tomorrow. You know, but the good news is I am pain-free for the first time in a long time.
That's awesome.
Don't have to deal with it. No reason to live that way. Shout out to those guys for getting it done. It works in and out within an hour.
That's awesome.
Where does that happen in this world?
Not in a hospital, I'll tell you that. It's nice to have a private practice where they have a little bit of control of how they do things, for sure.
I went long. Give me some wake-up music so we can knock this stuff out with more Waldo Waldman and more Navy SEALs.
Wake up, everybody! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Wake up! Come on! Come on! Wake up, everybody! Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody! No more sleeping in bed. No more about to thinking, time for thinking ahead. Come on now.
So my bad. This is your show.
No, I'm good. And you popped in with, you wanted to start with more Top Gun commentary this morning, which is great because I haven't really had the opportunity to engage in that conversation a little bit. So you want to talk about how it got brought back to the top of mind?
Yeah, so I am a ferocious reader. I get up every morning and read, and I'm devouring emails inbound, specific ones that I want to get. I'm looking at websites, I'm searching. I get tons of reels from great folks like Jocko and Rocco. So this morning I get an email from Waldo Waldman. I don't remember signing up for the email.
Sure.
But apparently he sends out an email, and I liked his content before. So here, hi, Steve. I had the pleasure of watching Top Gun over Memorial Day weekend, and it goes without saying that I loved it. Not just for the intense flying scenes, not just because of what it demonstrates, not just because of but because it emphasizes the core values that are so needed in business and life today. Values of trust, commitment, camaraderie, courage, honor, and sacrifice. I get chills.
Sure.
Go.
Well, so to me, so when most businesses develop their core values, where they go wrong, where they make a mistake, is they make it too tactical. They talk about their core values being the best copier, service in the industry and innovative because we are pushing new technology. That kind of pigeonholes the behavior into, we do this one thing. When you talk about those core values of trust and integrity, those are broader words that if you were to take those core values and say, how does trust apply to our business? How do we as a company build trust with the people that we do business with? How do we build trust with the people internally? So that word then bleeds into all of the other activities for the organization. So what are the core values? And I think, when we talk about the military, trust and honor, and those are really strong, impactful words. They don't necessarily have to be your core values of your business, right? Fun could be a core value of your business. And God, wouldn't that be a great place to work if you figured out how fun bled into all of the activities that led into what you do?
That is incredibly well said. I think people do mission statements because they think they're supposed to do mission statements.
Everybody has a vision. Everybody has a mission.
It's like, I don't know. Even them themselves go, I don't really know. We needed to do a mission statement, So this guy continued. Now, I love the fact that you turned it towards fun, because that was one of my commitments when we were growing ABC. It was like, I'm not doing this just to do it. I want to have some fun doing it. I want to meet great people. I want to be that we dressed well. We went to
I'm going to give a slight spoiler from the movie, because there's a great takeaway from that where, Maverick gets charged with creating a team out of these young pilots that are all the top of their class. And what's one of the things that he does to create the team? He takes them out to the beach and he has them play fighter pilot football, which I had never heard of before.
It was
Which
great.
looked like a phenomenal game to play.
It looked fun, man, right?
Got to figure out the rules if you want to play it. But so the admiral, or the guy he reports to, walks up to him and says, "What the hell are we doing out on the beach or whatever?" And he says, "You wanted a team? There's your team." And you're looking at the guys having fun with each other, right? They're not studying what needs to be done in the mission. They're not talking about the planes. They're out doing something as a team that incorporates fun, which then builds the camaraderie, which is maybe one of your core values that you're trying to get to. But in order to do those things, you got to get out of the box a little bit. You can incorporate fun.
So a couple of things. John Hamm's performance was insanely good.
Yeah.
And
He's
doesn't get
always
mentioned.
Don Draper to me. He'll forever be Don Draper to me. I was like,
But-
what's Don doing in the Navy?
Actually, somebody's got to do a spoof of that.
Yeah, right.
Have the general sipping a martini or something, right? Smoking a cigarette.
Right.
But the idea, to your point about building team, this was the game changer in this article for me. It was fantastic. They may be old school values, but old school values lead to new school victories.
Yeah.
Drop the mic. Now listen, he goes on. Values that turn average people into warriors. That's our commitment.
Yep.
That's why we do what we do.
Yep.
Values that lift, inspire, and encourage. Values that say, I'll have your back no matter what your sex, race, or religion is.
Yep.
Oh, if I had hair, it'd be tingling, man. It's like values that place people over jets.
Yeah.
Values that overcome obstacles, adversities, and missiles. Values that empower us to face our fears, fly the tough missions in life because we know who and what we're fighting for. Whoa!
I love it.
I mean,
absolutely love it.
So I and this is the power of LinkedIn. So I get this. I read it. I read this at like 3:30 or 4 o'clock this morning. There's nobody to talk to. I'm like, I might jump off the building just to get an audience.
After you've had 4 espressos at this point, right?
I'm like, this guy puts out, and it just goes on. It's just great. His motto is never fly solo.
Yeah, that's
Hall of
awesome.
Fame speaker. I mean, great. So the power of connectivity, which is what this generation has.
Yeah.
I go to LinkedIn. I see I'm not connected to him. Send him a note on LinkedIn. Then send him a similar note in email back to what he emailed me. And he emailed me right back. Boom, Steve, great, thanks, glad you liked it, da-da-da-da. I've directed him to watch this morning. I don't know if he will or not, but I've invited him to join us here, which would be really cool.
That would be great. Would love that.
If Colonel Waldo Waldman were to join us, because this guy lived it, and this is the one thing that lives with me more than just about anything else. We had yesterday, one of our older clients, meaning he had worked with us for a long time, developed cancer. He calls us up one day in tears and he goes, I got to stop. I'm going to get all choked up. And he beat it. He beat cancer. They took out parts of his body, and I don't want to disclose what it was, but it was crazy. And then he reached out. We've reached out a couple of times. He's reached out. He wanted to start back up. And yesterday in the first conversation, we do some pleasantries and he goes, how do I get better as a leader? Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, this guy runs a big transportation company. He is a major dude in the Houston area, but he is committed to getting how much percent?
1%.
1%
Despite
better.
what other people would
You
tell
can
you.
take it back, my friend. I know I took
Let's go to morning motivational music, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about some SEAL core values that can help your decision making to create a great mindset.
Now I'm just wondering why you think that you can get to me with anything. Seems like you know by now when and how I get down. And with all that I've been through, I'm still around. Don't you ever make no mistake, baby, I got what it takes. And there's no way you ever get me. Come on.
fantastic Michael Jackson song, and I'm probably in the minority in this, where I separate the talent and the product from anything off. Like unless it was like totally like
Listen, that would go down to Pete Rose for me. Pete Rose is fantastic.
Bet on baseball, did a lot of things, still a great baseball player. Right?
It's like, it's okay. Listen, I know lots of great leaders and salespeople that are degenerates.
Look, Michael Jackson's music is absolutely phenomenal. It never gets old. And you see the reaction it gets.
It's interesting that song, that's what Jake picked.
Unbreakable,
because life's gonna throw you some dirt balls, man. You got to be able to really hit them. One of the lines in that song is "Can't believe if you can't conceive." You can't conceive. Can't conceive if you can't believe, something like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So we're gonna go and we're gonna talk about three, because the power of three always shows up. But we're gonna talk about 3 principles to creating an unbreakable mindset that comes out of the Navy SEALs. But this was a great article that was given to us from Tim Denning, right? Tim Denning is a great guy to follow. If you are not, puts out tons of great content. He's great on Twitter, puts out great threads for you to find other newsletters to follow, other ways for you to find more content to feed yourself. But just so happens that in this particular article that he writes about Navy SEALs, he actually mentions a friend of mine who I was recently on a LinkedIn Live with, which is my friend Teddy. And so Teddy and I have connected on LinkedIn. We did a live together. He recently started his own coaching business, but Teddy actually spent some time studying the SEALs, spent some time working with the SEALs in the woods to develop some takeaways for himself. And so he gets referenced in this article, but there's 3 principles that it focuses on. And the first one is staying in your present zone of genius. And I think what happens and what they talk about is SEAL training as a whole isn't something like, it's not a bunch of impossible individual tasks. Each of the individual tasks are very doable, right? But what happens is that the culmination of all the work wears you down and breaks you down mentally. And because people lose sight of what's happening right now and no longer stay in the present, that's where they go wrong. They talk about one of the things they do is this mile-long run on the beach. I've run a mile before on the beach. Lots of people have run a mile before on the beach. What they don't tell you is how long you're going to be running on the beach. So you start out, you're running, you're going, and because you don't know where the end line is, your mind starts playing all of these tricks on you. Instead of saying, I just got to put one foot in front of the other. I just got to take one more step. I just got to keep myself going. And whenever it ends, and I'm okay with that. That inability to stay in the present is something that tears people down, which I don't care if you talk about sports, if you talk about business. One of the greatest comebacks of all time in sports, the Patriots, right? Down 28-3 at halftime. They didn't sit there and go, oh man, look at how far we have to go. They said, we got one play. What do we have to do on this play to set ourselves up for success for the rest? So that staying in the present is a huge principle for anybody building a strong mindset.
So when you realize your real enemy is yourself, you're Jesse Itzler talks about this all the time, that we are all under indexing ourselves. If you reach the point that you think you're done, you got 40% more in the tank, but your mind won't let. Your mind's going to protect you. Oh, I don't want you to get hurt. Here's a safe thing. Stop. It's okay. So when you keep pushing in increments of 30 seconds or a minute, I can do this for another minute. Yeah, another minute. And you repeat that exercise. They put it in the article, which was brilliant. Build a fortress around your mind. Don't let the negative shit in, man.
So the second principle is tough times can be won with the words you say, right? Like that's your mind. Your mind will immediately tell you that you've had enough or you need to stop. And like, I don't love David Goggins because I think he's a little over the top for me. Right. but what he talks about is real. Your body will do more. You have the ability to do more far beyond what your mind tells you. So understanding that as soon as you take mental conditioning, whichever Moad, As soon as you take those negative thoughts or the I can't or this is too hard or how much longer can I go, as soon as you verbalize that, you immediately add more weight to your shoulders and you make it much harder for you to carry on. So understanding that in that time, in that mindset of, Jesus, this is hard. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do 10 more reps. I don't know how I'm going to make another call. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this month. I don't know. Build the fortress around those thoughts to say, I'm not going to let them out of my mouth. I'm going to hold on to those. I'm going to set up the blockade. And then I'm going to speak something that says, I can do one more. What do I need to do in order to do this one thing? What do I need to do in order to just move incrementally forward, which is that 1% mindset. It's not trying to focus on everywhere you got to go and all the things you got to do. Stay in the present. Don't vocalize the negative thoughts and choose to speak something positive out there. Those are two of the principles.
I love it. The whole idea that it's the mental side of things which breaks down first, and especially in sales. I mean, you're dealing with a force. You're going to get rejected. You have no control.
Well, so
that shit coming down the lane, man. It's coming.
So the third principle, which they pull out of the exercise where they actually try to drown the SEALs. And a lot of SEAL trainees actually die during this training. But this is where they tie their hands and their feet. They tie their hands behind their back. They throw them in water. And they have to find a way to survive for 5 minutes, right? So the trick here is as soon as you start to panic about your struggle to live, you're dead. You're done. You're no longer, there's no way you're going to be able to find a way to survive for that 5 minutes. You're not going to be able to think clearly. You're focusing on the wrong things. So the mental exercise here is, and there's a great, saying for this, embrace the suck, right? Embrace the hard. Like, oh shit, I got my hands tied behind my back. I got my feet tied. I'm in water. This is really bad, but what do I need to do to survive for 5 minutes? How can I get a little air? How can I conserve my air? What can I do to try to get myself to the surface one time in order to sink back down? You start thinking strategically instead of focusing on, oh my God, and allowing the panic to set in and your reaction to then be controlled by that panic. So understanding, yes, this sucks, but embrace the suck. Embrace the struggle. Know that when that struggle happens, there's opportunity coming from that, and allow yourself to think in that way where you're able to develop a strategy.
That is such amazing lessons coming to us. Nice job, man. Good to have you back.
Good to be back. Good start to a Tuesday. Quick and easy. 20 minutes. Excellent. Hope you guys have a fantastic.
I will see you in the office today.
We'll see you in the office with Kai. Kai will be joining me in the office today. It's time to put him to work.
Is he going to dinner too?
Yes, absolutely.
Love it.
Let's go. Have a fantastic day. Let's get down to business. We'll see you tomorrow.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night.